श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So yesterday he presented a logic saying the Shruti says is self one who wants to be, one who has to be uplifted, that jiva, the self makes him do, the Ishvara makes him do to do good deeds. And the Smriti also very clearly presents Ishvara prerito gachet swargam va narakam va. So one who is prodded by, guided by Ishvara, he gains hell or heaven. So whichever, you have to have the grace of Ishvara. Only through the grace of Ishvara you gain those states. And logically also it is very clear. Why? How? Jiva is a karta and Ishvara is karita. The Jiva is the doer and the Ishvara is the instigator. Jiva is the experiencer and Ishvara is the one who is presenting those experiences. So this kind of a relationship between Jiva and Ishvara is very clear. And therefore, what we have to understand is, if I am afflicted by the Punya Papa, then because Ishvara is the one who is the instigator or the one who provides me with all that, therefore he should also be punished. That is the idea. If I am going to be involved in samsara, then he has to be involved in samsara also. Then there is no possibility of, not even a possibility of thought regarding liberation. So he says, Swabhavastu Pravarti. How can you say Swabhavastu Pravarti? The Prakriti takes care of everything. The ignorance, the cause for all this. How can you say that? For that he says, Nadatte kaschit papam naiva sukritam vibhu ajnanena avartam jnanam tena mukshanti jantavaha. This is a mantra also. Why? Because ajnanena avartam jnanam tena mukshanti jantavaha. That is the key word. What does he say? Na adatte kaschit papam na cha eva sukurtam vibhu ajnanena avartam jnanam tena mukshanti jantavaha. Na adatte kaschit papam. The vibhu, na adatte kaschit papam. The vibhu, the atma. Vibhu means vyapaka. Vibhu, that one which is all pervading, omnipresent. The self, that which is omnipresent, na adatte kaschit papam, does not receive anyone's sin. Then punya it will be partaking, right? No, it will not even partake the punyas. See, not just the self, no one can share our punya or papa. But since it is associated with us in such a close way, therefore it should have to be partaking the punya and papa. If this is the doubt, he says, ajnanena avartam jnanam, the knowledge, jnanam, ajnanena. Jnana means Paramatma Tattva Swarupa. That is the nature. So inherent nature. That inherent nature is ajnanena avartam, is dealt by the ignorance, covered by the ignorance. Tena, because of that, muhyanti jantavaha, the jivas, the beings, jantavaha, the beings, muhyanti, moham prapnoti, prapnuvanti, plural. So the jivas, they attain this delusion. Paramarthataha, Vibhu Parameshwaraha. The truth is that omnipresent, which is Parameshwara, kaschit jivasya papam sukritam cha naiva adatte. Never partakes any jiva's sin or the good deeds. So it is never associated with the vice or virtue of any jiva, any punya or papa of any jiva. Adate. Paramarthata, why? Because Paramarthata, the reality is this. Jivasya kartutva bhavat parameshwarachita karitutva bhavat. It does not partake, but I gave you logic and shruti, etc. How can you negate that? The reality is from the standpoint of reality, the jiva is neither the doer nor the Ishvara, the instigator. Normally, when we are asked about a pramana for Maya, Vidya, etc., we say there is no pramana. Why do we not establish it through pramana? Because if you establish it through pramana, then that is established through pramana. Therefore, it cannot be negated. Whatever is established through pramana cannot be negated anyway. So that is why we say it cannot be negated through pramana. It cannot be established through pramana. So that is why he says ajnanena avritam jnanam. The jnana is veiled by the ignorance. This can be a pramana also, but this is only talking about the veiling, the covering, the sheath of ignorance. So therefore, in reality, the jiva is neither the doer nor the Ishvara, the instigator. Katham tarhi shruti smrti loka vyavaharascha. Then how can you say, how can there be the shruti of this sort or the smrti of this sort or the loka vyavahara, the worldly transactions? I gave you the examples. So if you ask tatra aha, we answer this. Ajnanina, because of the ignorance. Tritiyanta, because of the ignorance. What is the ignorance? Avarana shakti mata, matu pratyaya. Matup is the pratyaya where the akara is it, okay, halantyam. Then ukara is upadesha jananas it. So it leaves you with mat. Mat means that which is of the nature of, that which has. So avarana vikshepa shakti mata, that which has the avarana shakti and vikshepa shakti. Subudpatti. After this, you bring in sup, then you have a strilinga mata, because we are talking about ajnana avidya, which is strilinga. Therefore, mata. Okay. So tabanda. Mayakshena. Up. When you add up, ajat stop. When you add up, it's not ajat stop. It is up. So when you add up, mata, it will become. So, Mayakshena. What is this ajnana? Maya. In Shvetashwara Upanishad, he explains some 20 names, 14 or 20 names of ignorance. Okay. So, now almost all of them are, many of them are brought in here. Ajnanina. Ajnana means Mayakshena, that which is also referred to as Maya, which is called as Maya. Andritena, which is a, see, normally with reference to the other books, the Shravana books, we explain Andrita as a illusory. Here, Andrita is a non-existent, the false. Okay, so Tamasa. Tamasa means darkness. This, it's another name for avidya. Avrutam, acharitam. Avrutam means acharitam, covered, veiled. What is covered by ajnana? Jnanam. Knowledge, what knowledge? Jiveshvara jagat bheda brahma adhisthana bhutam. What is this knowledge? The knowledge which is the adhisthana, which is substratum for all the kinds of duality of jiva, jagat and Ishvara. This is the duality. This is what is Jagat. Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, Bheda. That is what is the duality. So, that which is substratum for those dualities, Adhisthana Bhutam, Nityam, Swaprakasham, that which is eternal, that which is self-effulgent, Satchidananda Rupam, that which is existence knowledge plus, Advitiyam, that which is non-dual, Paramartha Satyam, that which is the absolute reality. Tena, because of that ignorance, Swarupa Avaranina. Tena Swarupa Avaranina. Tena is the keyword from the Mula. Tena means Swarupa Avaranina. Because of that veiling of one's inherent nature, Muhyanti. Muhyanti means Pramatra, Prameya, Pramana, Kartru, Karma, Karana, Bhoktru, Bhogya, Bhogakya, Navavidha, Samsara Rupam. What is samsara basically? That is explained in beautiful way. Samsara is of 9 types. Pramata, the knower. Prameya, the object of knowledge. Pramana, the means of knowledge. Okay. Then kartru, the doer. Karma, the object of act. Karana, the means of that action. Then bhoktru, the experiencer. Bhogya, the object of experience. Bhoga, the means of experience. So this is basically Pramatru Trinity, Pramatru Triputi, then Kartru Triputi, then Bhoktru Triputi. Basically, what is this? This is the Jnana Ichcha Kriya. Knowledge is basically the Pramata. Okay. Then Ichcha, desire, is the action. Kartru Ipsitatam karma. What is karma? That which is most desired by the karta. Therefore, that is the karma. And what is bhogya? That is the action. Bhokta, how can you be bhokta? See, only when I have the identification that I am the doer, I became the karta. That identification is because of the desire. I have the ability, I have the qualification to do, etc. So therefore, it is ichcha. And pravritti is the action, experience, being the bhokta. So the jnana ichcha kriya is seen in a different light in 9 types. With each trinity, it becomes 9 types. That samsara, moham, that is what is called as moham. But really, I didn't understand this. You explained it nicely, but I didn't understand. Okay. If you are not able to understand my words, then Bhagavan Bhashyakara explains it. Read that. What did he say? Ataspin tat avavhasa rupam. This Brahma Sutra. Ataspin tat buddhirityavochama. Adhyasa Bhashya, in the beginning introductory Bhashya itself, he very clearly says, what is this avidya? What is this adhyasa? Ataspin tat buddhihi. Atasmin tat buddhi, in not that. Atasmin, in not that. Tat, that. Buddhi, knowledge, the idea. The knowledge of that in not that. The knowledge of snake in not snake. The knowledge of silver in not silver. Mother of pearl. So that is avidya. And avahasa rupam vikshepam gachanti jantavaha. The vikshepa takes place. Vikshepa is the projection. That projection takes place. Jananashilaha samsarinaha. See, we'll come to that. Normally, what they do is, normally from the standpoint of the Anajivada, we'll explain the ajnana. That is one school also. The ajnana is the cause and vikshepa is the effect. That is how normally they explain. Meaning, ignorance is the cause, and adhyasa is effect. Superimposition is effect. Ignorance is cause and superimposition is effect. But in Brahma Sutra, in the same adhyasa bhasha concluding portion, Bhagavan Bhashyakara very clearly says that very adhyasa, that very ajnana is what is called as adhyasa by Panditas. Tam imam ajnanam adhyasamahuhu panditaha. Like that he says. The Panditas call this very ajnanas adhyasa. So he is not differentiating between the ignorance and adhyasa. That is the truth. Ignorance and superimposition are not two different things. You are viewing it from different angle. That is why, what is ajnana? Ajnana is that which has two powers: power of willing and power of projection. Power of willing was what is explained earlier. Now mushyanti. Now power of projection. Vikshepam gachanti. Power of projection. Power of projection is also of ignorance. So it cannot be something else. Okay. So adhyasa is ignorance. There is no superimposition is ignorance. Jantavaha. Jantavaha means jananashilaha. That which has the inherent nature of being born. Beings, human beings. Beings. Samsarinaha. Who are these beings? Samsaris. Samsaris means Vastu Swarupa Adarshina. Who are samsaris? the people who don't see the truth, the absolute truth. Akartru, abhoktru, abhoktru, paramananda dvitiya, atma swarupa adarshan nibandhano ayam jiveshwara jagat bheda brahma. What is this reality? Means the self is a non-doer, non-experiencer, absolute bliss, non-dual. That kind of bliss, that kind of self, one who does not see, because of non-seeing of that, what happens? This Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, Bheda, Brahma, this illusion of the Jiva, Jagat, and this delusion of Jiva, Jagat, Bheda, Ishvara, etc. comes into existence. Jiva, multiple Jivas, Jiva and Ishvara are different, Jiva and Jagat are different, Jagat and Ishvara are different. All these kind of dualities come into existence. Pratiyamanaha vartate mudhanam. This kind of experience is gained by the idiots, the people who are not able to see the truth. Tasyam cha avasthayam, in that state of being veiled and being deluded, in that state, Mudha Pratya Anubandhin Eva Yete Shruti Smriti Vastava Advaita Bhajita Vakya Shesha Bhute Iti Dosha. Wait, you are explaining something else. I wanted to know, the Shruti says the duality is because of the Ishvara. The Smriti says the duality because I am good or bad because of Ishvara. The Smriti also says this, and under the logical experience also, explanation also says the same thing. Therefore, the Ishvara is also supposed to be taking part of my punya, papa. So what we say is, tasyam chavastam, in that kind of deluded state, Mudha Pratya Anuvadini eva yete. Mudha Pratya Anuvadini, the recollection of the experience of the idiots. Oh, you see that snake, right? You say, I just saw a snake there. I know that is a rope. But if I say that is just a rope, it is not snake, you will say, you don't understand my problem. People normally, when you explain the truth, they say they don't want to come out of that problem. So they say, you are not able to understand my problem. My problem is different. You don't understand it. You have to undergo that. That is how you will understand all these stupidities. So what the Guru says is, yes. Do you see that snake? That snake? Yes, right? I'll talk about that snake. He is not going to say that I'll talk about that rope. He is going to say that I'll talk about that snake. I'll explain the existence of that snake, how that snake came into existence. Now you will be happy. Yes, he understands my problem. So he says, tasyam chavastam, in that state, Mudha Pratya Anuvadini, the Shruti just repeats your experience. Shruti and Smriti and experience are all repeating your experience. Vastava Advaita Bodhita Vakya, because the Bodhi Vakya, the Shruti is the real purport of the Shruti is, the real purport of Smriti is to teach you the non-duality. For that, Vakya Shesha, these other statements are Shesha Bhuta. For that statement, Shesha Bhuta means the remaining, the secondary statements. For that primary statement, Mahavakya is the primary statement. These are all supporting augmentative statements. It's augmenting that. That is why we say, what are the Savantara Vakyas? The statements which explain Jiva individually, Jagat individually, and Ishvara individually, they are Avantara Vakyas. The statement which establishes the identity between Jiva and Brahman, the Jiva and Ishvara, is Mahavakya. So he says, iti na dosha. Therefore, it is just repeating your experience. Therefore, there is no defect here. Tarhi. Okay, fine. I understand this. Sarvesha anadi ajnana avratatvad kadam samsarat nivritti. See, everyone is bound by the samsara. I understand. I can see very clearly. Everyone is bound by the samsara. If everyone is bound by the samsara, how can one come out of the samsara? For this, He answers, Jnanena tu jnanam yesham nashitam atmanah tesham adityavat jnanam prakasheti tatparam. Jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitam atmanah tesham adityavat jnanam prakasheti tatparam. Jnanena tu tad ajnanam atmanah ajnanam yesham nashitah. Jnanena tu tat atmana ajnanam yesham nashitah. For one whose ignorance ajnanam about the self, atmanah, ignorance of the self, atmana ajnanam, sixth case, atmanah ajnanam. So ignorance of the self, nashitam, is destroyed, is removed by what? Jnanena, through the knowledge. Third case, through the knowledge. Tesham, for them, jnanam prakasheti tatparam, the knowledge illumines that absolute self. Adityavat is the example, like the sun. We'll explain, see this. Tadu avarana vikshep shaktimat anadi anirvachyam anrutam anartha vrata moolam ajnanam आत्म आश्रय विषयम अविद्या मायादि शब्दवाच्यम आत्मनो ज्ञानेन गुरु दृष्ट वेदांत महावाक्य जन्येन श्रवण मनन निध्यासन परिपाक निर्मल अंतःकरण वृत्ति रूपेण निर्विकल्पक साक्षात्कारेण etc etc etc. Very beautiful. Understand this, you understand Vedanta. You don't understand this, you have no idea what Vedanta speaks. This is a very important point. What does it say? Tad avarana vikshepa shakti mad. That, see, here it is mad. There it was mata. Here it is mad. Okay. So that which is avarana vikshepa shakti mad, that which has the ignorance, that ignorance which has the avarana and vikshepa shakti, the power of feeling and the power of projection. Anadi anirvachyam, that which is beginningless, that which is causeless. Anadi is a explanation in Vedanta for things which cannot be explained. This is like an escape route for Vedantins. This is the escape route for Vedantins. Anadi. So beginningless. So what is that beginningless? Anirvacham, inexplicable. So that self which is inexplicable, because Maya is defined as inexplicable. Anirvachyatvam, Mayatvam, Mithyatvam. You can add to it Sadasad Bhinnatve Sate, Anirvachyatvam, etc. But in reality, Anirvachyatvam, Mithyatvam. What is Mithya? Anirvachyatvam. Inexplicability is ignorance. So that is why. What is that? That is ignorance. Or actually I know, but I'm not able to put through words. I'm not able to explain it in words. I know it. That is ignorance. That is ignorance. If you know, you have to be able to explain it. If you are not able to explain it, that is ignorance. Right? So he says, Anirvachyam, Anrutam, that which is non-existent, Anrutam, that which is unreal, Anartha Vrata Moolam, that which is the cause for all the problems. Anarthas, Anartha, trouble, problem, that which is cause for all the problems. Anartha Vrata Moolam, Ajnanam, ignorance. Atma Ashraya Vishayam. This is a very beautiful thing, important thing. Atma Ashraya Vishayam. Atma Ashraya Vishayam means that which is something which has the substratum in the self. But that is not how it is to understand. Ashraya Vishayam. They are two words. That which is Atma, that which has the Atma, the self, as the Ashraya, refuge, and with that which has Vishaya, subject matter, as self. This object or object. The object and the substratum is a self. That which resides and objectifies the self. How is it? I am not able to understand this. Wait. There is this room. There is a room here. This is the library room. Okay. There is this room. And there is not enough light there. Naturally, there is not enough light there. So that room is veiled by darkness. That room is veiled by darkness. So where is the darkness? Darkness is in that room. I have so many lights here. So darkness is not here. Darkness is in that room. The darkness has its refuge in that room. And what is the object of the dark room? The darkness, the objects here, things here, the things in that room. So that room is the substratum, the refuge for that darkness, as well the object for that darkness. Similarly, this is an important Vedantic idea. In a text called Sankshepa Sharirika, he very clearly says, Ashretva Vishetva Bhagini Nirvibhaga Chitireva Kevala. Ashretva Vishetva Bhagini Nirvibhaga Chitireva Kevala. The self is the Ashraya and Vishaya, Nirvibhaga Chitihi, the consciousness which is undivisible. The undivisible consciousness is the substratum and the object for this ignorance. So he says, avidya ashray vishayam, avidya mayadi shabdavachyam. That which is called as, all this explanation is for that avidya. So that which is referred to as avidya, maya, etc. Atmanaha jnanena, through the knowledge of the self. Knowledge of the self. Oh, suddenly I realized the knowledge of the self. No! Remove that idea. So immediately he says, Guru Upadishta Vedanta Mahavakya Janyena, the knowledge which is gained through the teaching of the Guru. Majority of the people I see a dead Guru. They don't want the Guru to be dead. They are happy to accept the dead person as the Guru. Why? It is easy to handle him. Whatever is your idea can be projected upon that Guru, dead one. He may be realized, I don't care. But the problem is, he will not be able to guide you. He will not be able to guide you. No, that is not right. You have to do it like this. He will not be able to tell you that. Only a living Guru can teach you what is right and what is wrong. The problem is, the living Guru not only teaches what is right, he will also tell you what is wrong, and that is where the problem starts. That is where the problem starts. We don't like anyone saying our defects. The dead Guru, he will not be speaking anything. He will not be saying anything. He will be silent, and he is always supporting you. That is not a way to grow. A way to grow. So the way to grow is a person who points out to your errors. Only when you have somebody who points out to your errors, only then you will be able to grow. So he says, Guru Upadishtave. Otherwise, whatever your stupidity is projected upon that Guru, that dead Guru, and you will say, oh, that Guru guided me like that. So that is why I am doing. You know, there are so many people talking about this because they don't have the guts to surrender to a living Guru. Their ego does not give teaching of Vedanta, Mahavakya Janyena, the Mahavakyas of Vedanta, through which the knowledge is gained. Janyena, the knowledge is gained. And it is not immediately gained. You should not believe that Guru also, one who says, okay, I told you, you are liberated now. Tattvamasi, I gave you the knowledge of Tattvamasi, now you are liberated. No, don't believe in that Guru also. Because you have to work for your knowledge. It cannot be spoon-fed. Shravana Mana. This kind of teaching is possible. This kind of teaching is, even if it is a kind of spoon feeding, it doesn't really matter. But you have to process it. Even though I explained every word, every character here, the space also, including the space also in between. So, still, you have to process it. That is why it says, Shravana Manana Nidhyasana Paripaka. Only when the Shravana, Manana and Nidhyasana, the listening, the reflection and the contemplation, when that is Paripaka, when it is fructifying. Only when it fructifies, then Nirmala Antakarna Vritti Rupena, there is a thought function which is pure. Khandakara Vritti. That thought function of that form, that pure thought function form, how? Nirvikalpaka, Sakshatkarena, which is the immediate knowledge of the attributeless Nirvikalpaka without any attributes. That attributeless. Shodhita Tattvam Padartha Abheda Rupa, which is which to see it in another way, it is gained through the clarity of the Tat word and the Tvam word, the identification between the Tat word and Tvam word, Rupa, Shuddha Sachidananda Akhanda Ekarasa, the self which is absolute purity without any association with the impurity of Maya, Satchit Ananda, that which is existent knowledge bliss, Akhanda Ekarasa, that which is a one non-dual form, that kind of Vastu Matra Vishayena, that Antakarana Vritti Rupena Vastu Matra Vishayena, with that you have to associate. That thought function which only has as its object the Vastu, the absolute self. Nashitam. With that thought function, that Akhandakara Vritti is the thought function which destroys. Nashitam means destroys. Destroys means Baditam, negates. That which annihilates. Kalatrayepi. What is Badita? This is Kalatrayepi Asat Eva Sattaya Asattaya Jnatam. Kalatrayepi Asadeva Iti Asattaya Jnatam. So it was never, it had no existence in all three periods of time. In this way, seeing this Jagat, Jiva, Ishvara to be absence in all the three periods of time. Nasit, Nasti, Nabhavishyati. The dream object never existed except in the dream state. It never has any existence before, after or during the period of dream. So, iti asattaya jnatam. When you know that that it is non-existent, then adhishtara chaitanya matratam prapitam. You gain the substratum. When you understand whatever you see is in reality superimposed, what that means is only the substratum remains. When you understand that is only superimposition, the substratum only remains. That is why when we say you can see through that person, means that image which is projecting in front of him, his mask is pierced into. You are piercing his mark and entering into his mask and entering into his reality, the truth, his real existence, his real nature. So, like that here also, Chaitanya Matratam Prapitam, one who has gained that absolute state. Like what? Shukta Yorajatam Shukti Jnanena. The knowledge of mother of pearl negates the silver knowledge which you had. So, the silver never had existence earlier, the silver never had existence later, this never has existence now. So, that kind of knowledge, Shukti Jnanena, Eyasham, for whom? For whom means Shravana Manan and Nidhyasana Sadha Sampannanam. The people, only to them, people who have these practices of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, these qualifications of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Bhagavad Anugrahitanam. Only that happens only for a person who has the grace of Ishvara. Ishvara Anugraha Deva Pumsamadvaita Vasana. It is said only by the grace of the Ishvara a person can gain even the knowledge of, even to listen to the knowledge of a non-duality, the self. So mukshuna, that kind of mukshu, the person, see, just the words are not enough. The devotion, that bhakti is enough. So mukshunam, any bhakti basically, devotion is basically a tool. Whether it Guru Bhakti, whether it be Ishvara Bhakti, whatever, that Bhakti is a tool. Now, how can you equate Guru Bhakti with Ishvara Bhakti? We are not seeing the Guru to be different from the Ishvara. If you see Guru to be different from Ishvara, then there is a problem. In Vedanta, Guru is Ishvara. Understand that? So he says, Mukshunam, Tesham. For those people, for those mumukshus, seekers, tad jnanam kartru adityavat. That knowledge, which is the. So udayamatre neva tamo vina nirvashesham nivartayati. See, the sun, just by its rise, it immediately destroys the darkness. The sun does not need something else to remove the darkness. It does not expect something else, help of something else to remove the darkness. Similarly, natu kanchit sahayam apekshate. It does not expect any help from anything. Tatha brahma jnanam. Similarly, this knowledge of the self too, shuddha sattva parinamatvat vyapaka prakasha rupam. Since it is a transformation of that existence, of that truth, Shuddha Sattva, that truth, therefore, Vyapaka Prakasha Rupam, it is a omnipresent self-effulgent. Vyapaka means omnipresent, Prakasha means effulgent, and this effulgence is not dependent upon anything, therefore self-effulgent. That is how you have to understand. So, Utpatti Matraneva Sakaryantra Nirapekshitaya Sakaryam Ajnanam Nivartayat. So, without that Akhandakara Vritti, which is objectifying that absolute self, without that knowledge, without expecting the help of anything else, it destroys the ignorance along with the effect. Sakaryam Ajnanam. The ignorance, which is the cause, along with the effect of Jagat Jiva Ishvara Bheda, the duality of Jagat Jiva and Ishvara. Satya Jnana Ananda, Jnana Ananta Ananda Rupa Ekam Eva Advitiyam Param, that absolute, which is existence, knowledge, bliss, all pervading, non-dual self, Ekam Eva Advitiyam Paramatma Tattvam, that absolute, the truth about the absolute. Prakasheti, illumines. It illumines that truth about the absolute self. Pradicchaya grahana matrena eva karmatam antarena abhivyanakti. Without depending upon anything, just the wheeling is to be removed. The wheeling, which is the obstacle, that has to be removed. Only that is the thing. Without expecting any other help from anything else, it illumines. It becomes illumined. Karmatam antrena avivyanakti. It manifests without any help of anything else. Atra jnanena. So here we'll see this slowly. We will understand this clearly. Okay. So Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.